you know what? He was what an ace needs to be. He stopped the losing streak and sets him up for a homestand where they could potentially get some wins out of. So really, really, really proud effort out of Rodón.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. With me, as usual, my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian.
Stacey, nice way to close the series out.
Yes, much needed win for the Yankees. Never want to get swept. Never want to have to take a plane ride, even though it's short from Cleveland, home and deal with a sweep. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, hit the bell so you're notified when our videos go live. On today's show, who are the front runners for MVP this early in the season? We will discuss. We'll also preview the series with Toronto. We're going to have a serious conversation about a specific Yankee who is having a rough start to his season. But first, the Yankees win that final game in Cleveland, thanks to a couple of things. But we have to talk about Carlos Rodón because this is 2 shows in a row. What did we say we wanted? Or at least I said I wanted from him. I said 7 innings. we asked and we received. We should have been asking for a lot of different things besides Carlos Rodón to have a good start. But, we'll take it. He was unbelievable. He was everything as advertised. Every single pitch that he had was working in this spot. There was a slight opportunity early in the game for a meltdown, and he actually controlled himself and pitched and set him his way out of it because the game could have got away from him really quickly because the game at the start looked like it was going to be one of those 13-12 finals where both teams just don't pitch and everyone just scores. That's not what happened. The Yankees kept it going that way for the most part until the middle innings. And Carlos Rodón just, pitched his butt off, quite frankly. He was unbelievable. He was everything as advertised. And you know what? He was what an ace needs to be. He stopped the losing streak and sets him up for a homestand where they could potentially get some wins out of. So really, really, really proud effort out of Rodón. Yeah. And like Fried on Sunday, where after a demoralizing loss on Saturday, he came in and pitched really well. Rodón stopped the bleeding because, as I said at the top, you don't want to end a road trip after winning 3 out of 4 in Tampa. Getting swept in Cleveland would have been a disaster. And not that losing 2 out of 3 is great, but at least they won that last game. They salvaged that last game. Rodón put up an incredible start. 7 innings, 1 run. It was unearned. 8 strikeouts, and he just looked. Is it the beard? I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Yes.
Is it?
It might actually be the beard.
Yeah. Is it the beard? Is it the fact that it's his 3rd season with the Yankees? Is it the fact that I was going to say maybe it's because Max Fried came in and is doing what he's doing, but Rodón had Cole for his first 2 seasons with the Yankees. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from Carlos Rodón, and he needs to keep it up.
I definitely think 2 of those factors are for sure true. I do think the comfortability of it being his 3rd year with the Yankees does help a lot. And, it does sound crazy, but I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world. Rodón historically in both San Francisco and Chicago, when he had a beard, was a dominant, unbelievable ace-type pitcher. And it sounds nuts, I know, but hear me out. When you buy a new pair of clothes, a new shirt that you really like, a new pair of pants, a new pair of sneakers, if that's your taste. When, I was going to my girlfriend's house for Easter and bought a new shirt, right? You put that new shirt on and you feel a little more confident. You just do. You like the way it looks. You like the way that you look, and you feel better about yourself. Baseball players, athletes have been saying for years, if you look better, you feel better, you play better. That might be Carlos Rodón's thing. Like he might just feel like a more comfortable person with the facial hair. That might just be his mantra. We've discussed before. He lives out in the mountains when he's not playing in baseball season. He's a big hunter. He's a grizzly kind of guy. Yes. He's not He's not one of these obsessive with their body athletes in modern day. I don't think Carlos Rodon probably follows a very big diet plan either. He looks like a guy that probably just eats what he wants and plays baseball, which is, different than some athletes handle it
He
nowadays.
probably eats what he kills too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's the kind of guy that he is. He's an outdoorsman, mud on the face, little bit of a belly, beard type of dude. And when he looks in the mirror and feels more like himself, you know what? He shows up to the Bronx with more confidence, and he shows up, does his job, goes home. That's the kind of guy that he is. So it might sound crazy to some people, but I think there is some credibility to you feel better, you feel more confident, and you go out there and you pitch what you really know you're capable of doing. This was what Carlos Rodon is today. 7 innings of shutout ball, 8 strikeouts, and just completely dominant with every pitch that he had.
Yep. He threw 39 four-seamers. Cleveland went 2 for 9. 19 changeups. They went 0 for 4 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. His best pitch of the day was his slider. He got 5 strikeouts on that pitch. He threw 18 of his sliders, 8 curveballs, 1 strikeout, and he threw 6 sinkers, and they were 0 for 4 off the sinkers. So he threw 90 pitches, 61 for strikes. He has a 2.66 ERA against the Guardians in his career now in 22 games, 20 starts. That's 2 solid outings in a row where there was no meltdown. There was a start before that was good, but there was an incident in that game. So this is 2 solid starts. He leads the AL, at least coming into recording the show, with 45 strikeouts, and he lowered his ERA to 3.50.
Yeah, significant lowering of the ERA. You got to be proud of what you saw out of Carlos Rodon. You just do. And again, that first inning, there was an opportunity for a meltdown. There was. He had the unearned run that came in, and he had the chance to really let the game get away, especially after the Yankees scored 2 in the top of the first. You're thinking, all right, this could be a nice win. To give up that 1 run early, you thought, ooh, I don't know. I think the Guardians loaded the bases at a point in that inning. It really could have become a problem. Wasn't a problem. He got out of it, and then he just cruised from there on. They took him out with what was it, 80, 90 pitches? Mm-hmm. He could have kept pitching. That's how good he looked. I mean, he didn't look like he was slowing down remotely. But I don't hate the move to take him out either, because let him leave with a lot of confidence. Don't let him come in and give up a home run on the first pitch of the next inning and then destroy his confidence. I liked it. The only guy that I didn't like the way that he pitched today was Luke Weaver, and we'll discuss that.
Interesting. Okay. Offense. Ben Rice. I mean, what could you say about this kid? Yeah. It seems like he's 1 for 3. He had 2 walks. He scored on Judge's triple. He drove in Dominguez at one point, Judge with the triple. He starts off the game with the triple. Bellinger was 1 for 4 with a walk, and he was the only one in the lineup that didn't strike out all game. Everyone else had at least 1 strikeout, and Bellinger was the only one. And he had that issue with the unearned run. It was his fault there. But then he ends the game on an incredible catch.
Incredible.
Just unbelievable. Dominguez, 2 hits and a walk, stole a base. I don't know if teams do they not know that Dominguez is fast? Is it because of the way he's built that people don't expect him to steal bases?
Yes. And I don't think it's just teams. I think a lot of people that watch baseball don't realize how fast he is. You watch him run, he's unbelievable, but it looks weird when he's running. It doesn't look like he should be moving as fast as he's moving at. He looks like a Dodge Challenger. You know how it's got that wide body and it's super heavy, and you're like, how is that car moving that fast? Right. That's what he looks like, because I'm not calling him fat, but he's a stocky,
he's short and stocky.
Muscular. He's a muscular guy, though, and he moves. He's super fast. He really is.
Yeah, I say short. I mean, he's measured to be 5'9", I believe. So for a baseball player,
but from my regards, but
right. Let's see. Oh, Goldschmidt keeps hitting.
Yeah, he doesn't stop.
Although a lot of it is, BABIP.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, BABIP. That's it. BABIP. I can't say it. I don't know why. That is going to correct itself, because a lot of times it's just, he's having a lot of good luck right now.
Yeah.
And it'll correct itself at some point. He's not going to be hitting this well throughout the entire season.
But he's hitting like 340 right now. So if he gives you 280, I'll take it.
Yes, I will eat my hat if he hits 340 all season. Jazz Chisholm can't hit the ball, but he can walk, which is good. Wells had 2 strikeouts before hitting his double. He wasn't looking that great either, but it's better than striking out the entire game.
For Jazz's sake, they do usually say that when a hitter starts turning around a slump, he usually starts walking first. It means he's seeing the ball a little better. So
Yes.
hopefully that's where Jazz is heading.
Let's hope so. Let's go through the bullpen. Not that they needed much of the bullpen because of Rodón lasting 7, but Cruz came in, had a 1-2-3-8 with 2 swinging strikeouts. He has 19 strikeouts on his splitter, which leads Major League Baseball relievers. Batters are 2 for 31 against that splitter. He's allowed 1 extra base hit, 0 earned runs in 10 out of his 11 appearances, and his ERA is 2.08.
It's incredible how good he's been.
Yeah,
strikeout machine.
That splitter is a great
Filthy.
pitch. Yeah, like
Filthy.
It's every time he throws it, I'm just like, ooh, it almost reminds me of Tanaka in a way.
Yeah, it drops off like Tanaka's. I'd agree with that. That's a good comparison, actually.
Yeah. And then Luke Weaver pitched the 9th. He gave up a hit. He didn't give up any runs. Coming into Wednesday's game, he appeared in 10 games. He faced 43 batters. He allowed 7 base runners with no runs. He's the first pitcher in Yankees history to face that many batters, allowed that few amount of base runners and no runs through their first 10 games of the season. But now it's 11 games, 47 batters faced, 8 base runners, still no runs.
Yeah, he was lucky this game was played in Cleveland, though, I will say, because if this game was in Yankee Stadium, that would have been a different story. All 3 outs that he had were to the warning track. He did get hit really hard in this game. He got lucky that Cleveland's a little bit of a deeper ballpark, so the ball didn't necessarily fly out of there. Yankee Stadium, the ball Judge caught was a home run. The ball Bellinger caught's probably off the wall. Wasn't the best outing for Weaver. He knew it, too, on the mound. He was, like, cursing at himself. But overall, they had to get Williams up, but they didn't have to use him. So, overall, good end to the series.
Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notifications so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in the description. You get texts from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings. We send out lineups during the season, roster moves, breaking news, so you don't have to check social media. There's a 14-day free trial. There's one person we didn't mention yet, and he didn't have a good game. So coming up, what is going on with Anthony Volpe? We'll discuss that next.
Did you know that your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with the Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console is required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. You can dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Avowed. As easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all available on your Fire TV. With the 4K streaming, watch more than 1.5 million movies and TV episodes. Think about it. That's as many people that have watched Locked On Yankees in history. So it's a lot of people. From your favorite subscribed services like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and more, it's all available. You can also get YouTube on there so you can watch Locked On Yankees whenever you want, and all the Locked On shows across all of our platforms. Everything you can imagine is available, and now your Xbox too. So here's what you can do. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and complete compatible controller is required. Available on select devices including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd generation, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd generation, and Fire TV Cube 3rd generation. And thanks again for making Locked On Yankees your first listen. Remember that every Friday is Fan Mail Friday. You can leave questions underneath the pinned comment on our videos Monday through Thursday. Today is the last day. Or you can join Locked On Yankees Insiders Club to get top priority during Fan Mail Friday. That link is below in our description. So, Stacey, pretty overall good game for the Yankees. Not a great series for them in Cleveland. Certainly not as good as it was when they were last in Cleveland. But there was one guy in particular who, I don't know what else to say. Quite frankly, it looks like he's regressing. You can explain.
Yeah. So when we were putting together the rundown, we didn't really have a segment 2. And I thought about Anthony Volpe and his performance in this series, specifically in the games on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I just so happened to find an article that had all the numbers I needed to know about Anthony Volpe and what he's been doing so far this season. Because, you know, it's one thing to watch a player perform, but it's another thing to read all the numbers, and they're not great. They're really not. This article was written after the second game of the series, but before Volpe went 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts on Wednesday. He went 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout on Tuesday. But his average, thanks to Wednesday's performance, is down to 198. So he's below the Mendoza line now.
Yeah, which is kind of disheartening, I'm not going to lie. We've discussed all of Volpe's career pretty much that we've been together talking on the show, at least 2/3 of his career, about the kind of player that Anthony Volpe can be. And there has been a problem of Anthony Volpe kind of defining the kind of player that he is, because he came in his first year and was hitting home runs left and right, and everyone was kind of thinking, well, he wasn't really advertised as a home run hitter, so what is this? And all of a sudden, year 2 comes around and he's not focusing on the home run ball as much. He's trying to get on base a little more. And it didn't show with the on-base percentage. Now, his on-base percentage was decent, but not where it needs to be for a starting shortstop in this league with the speed that he has on the base path. So you were hoping, Stacey, that coming into this year, he'd be able to, turn things around, really focus on his on-base percentage. And we both kind of emulated the same opinion that his average could stay in the 250 to 270 range. If he gave you 360 on base percentage, you could live with that because he can create havoc on the base paths. He can create more problems. We kind of mentioned it with Jazz Chisholm. Stacey, his on base in his rookie year was 283. His on base last year was 293. His on base this year right now is 295. Simply putting it, that's not good enough.
No.
And I mentioned earlier, this is a player who you defined as untouchable during trade conversations years ago when they were looking to add trade deadlines to improve their chances of winning a World Series. A player that they refused to move for potentially could have got pieces that would have won them a World Series, i.e. Garrett Cole. This is a player that the Yankees had deemed their starting shortstop. They essentially torched Peraza's chances of having confidence to play shortstop. They didn't go after Corey Seager, who won a World Series immediately after he was signed where he went to in Texas. They have also taken themselves out of any shortstop market that has been available pretty much in the last 6 years because of Anthony Volpe. And he has never had a season where his on-base percentage has been over 300. Simply putting it, not good enough. And I know he's young. It's crazy how young he is. But at a certain point, you got to prove to us that you're a major league caliber player. And quite frankly, Stacey, he hasn't done that.
Yeah, on Wednesday, like I said, 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. And the disturbing thing is 3 of those strikeouts were swinging, right? So his first strikeout was on a changeup. Second one was on a 4-seam fastball. Third one was on a slider. So they were giving him a variety of pitches. The fourth one was on a slider, but it was outside and it wasn't a strike. And I'll show you guys where it was on this chart. It's the little yellow ball next to the aqua ball. That was called strike 3. And I felt bad for him when it happened, watching it live, because I was like, oh man, that was not, I know he's doing badly in the game, but the ump really screwed him on that call. And that wasn't right. But entering Wednesday, Volpe had a 27.1 strikeout rate. And at that point, he was 0 for 13 combined against sliders, curveballs, and changeups with a whiff rate north of 45% on those pitches. And what did I say? He just struck out against sliders, changeups. There was a 4-seamer in there. But also, there's another glaring problem with Volpe right now. He's missing balls in the zone. He's just swinging right through balls, right down the middle, balls that someone should hit. And his whiff rate on fastballs, again, entering Wednesday, was 29.7%. So he's not making bad decisions at the plate, and he's not necessarily swinging at bad pitches. He's just not hitting the ball.
He's got no confidence right now, and it was pointed out in the broadcast, too. His front hip is opening up as if he's trying to hit inside fastballs almost on every fastball. He's cheating on pitches, especially on fastballs, and not every pitcher is, dialing him inside with fastballs. And the problem is when you open up your inside hip to hit that inside pitch, you let yourself become susceptible to a lot of pitches. And you see this is why pitchers are throwing him outside in the zone, specifically with breaking balls. You open up your front hip, Now, generally, is it going to open up your ability to hit that fastball inside? Absolutely. It gives you more room to get the barrel of the bat on it. You open up your front hip, are you going to be able to get to that breaking ball in the inside corner? More likely, yeah. But if you open up that front hip early, you are certainly not getting to that fastball in the outside corner because you're reaching for it. So even if you make contact, it's very, very bad contact, which is what Volpe's been making. Mm-hmm. And also, if that guy throws a breaking ball on the outside, which is what they've been throwing to Volpe, you've got no chance if your front hip is open, getting back in that box and keeping your foot planted. You're dead to rights. You better hope that ball misses the zone because you have no chance of hitting that ball if it's a breaking ball. You're starting too early. You're on the outside and you're cheating, and that's why you can't be cheating up there like that. And players who do that, players who start early, players who open up their front hip to try and catch up to the fastball are not confident players. They're players that have lost their swing, that are not confident up there and don't believe they're going to be able to catch up to the fastball if it's thrown right down the middle. And that's what Anthony Volpe is right now. And he's generally a good fastball hitter. So this really concerns me. His start looked pretty good in that first series, but what does that really say? Every Yankee looked good in that first series. Right. And it's just, this is a defining year for Anthony Volpe. And I know it's only his third year, but the Yankees have to start asking him questions if he's their guy long-term, if he finishes off this year the same kind of way that he finished off last year, with an average in the low 200s, with an on-base below 300, with mediocre power numbers. Is that a guy worth investing the next decade into? You can find a shortstop with those numbers throughout the entire league. I can almost guarantee that if you let Peraza play a whole year, he'd give you those numbers at bare minimum. So I don't know where they're heading, but it doesn't look like it's on a good path. He does not look like he's improved the least bit in the offseason, and that's a concern to me. It really is.
Yeah, and when do they do something about it, or do they do something about it? You know, like, are they just going to accept that maybe Volpe is just a defense first shortstop, and they can't rely on him to hit the ball because that's not what the problem is they wanted.
You know what the problem is, Stacey, with that is the problem with this is you put all your eggs in one basket with Volpe. You told yourself, and you told, quite frankly, your fan base and the rest of Major League Baseball, and by you, I mean Brian Cashman and the Yankee regime, that Anthony Volpe was a future superstar. That's what you admitted. I mean, you did by making him the center of your minor league farm system, by calling him up as early as you did, by letting him make the team directly out of camp, again, but the years that they had a chance to trade him in a package for a player that could help them win a World Series, they politely said no to top-tier players because Anthony Volpe was the player that other teams wanted included in that deal. Players that could potentially help the Yankees win a World Series. The Yankees said no because Anthony Volpe wanted to be included in that deal, or the other team wanted Anthony Volpe in that deal. You put all your eggs in one basket with this guy. You did. And if he doesn't turn out to be a superstar, you're kind of screwed here because from all accounts, Corey Seager would have had no problem coming to the Bronx. And with that swing, with the numbers that he put up that year in Texas, a much bigger ballpark than Yankee Stadium, he probably would have hit 45-plus home runs and at 120 RBIs, and you probably would have won the World Series that year. Instead, Texas went ahead and won the World Series the year they signed him, and they could have afforded that contract because that 12-year, $300 million contract looks pretty sweet right now for a player like Corey Seager. It's especially where contracts are at right now. You really went all in on Anthony Volpe, and when you do that on a player, especially at his age, you better be right. Unless you're Brian Cashman. Because you can afford to be wrong on players and you're not going to lose your job. But generally the consensus in sports, when you go down on a player that young, you better be right. And right now, Stacey, we're at the start of year 3. Players usually show themselves by now. That's what scares me about Volpe is I'm not saying you can't turn it around. By now, you pretty much know what a player is by now. You knew that Jeter was a budding star by this point. You know who the superstars are. They may not be putting up superstar numbers yet, but you know they're heading on that track by after year 2. Anthony Volpe's not doing that. That's a concern.
All right, coming up, who are the early leaders for MVP? I mean, obviously we know in the AL. And we'll preview the Toronto series next.
There's nothing better than catching a Major League Baseball game live. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the smell of ballpark food. And if you're looking to go last minute, Game Time makes getting tickets easier than ever. With last-minute deals, all-in pricing, and lowest price guarantees, Game Time takes the stress out of buying Major League Baseball tickets. Plus, ticket prices drop as Game Time gets closer, meaning you can score an incredible deal. Game Time is also the official ticketing partner of Locked On, and the Yankees are home this weekend against Toronto. I'll be there, section 237, if anyone wants to hang out. I can count on Game Time to grab tickets that meet my needs at any point. So I can go whenever I want. I can buy tickets whenever I want, and Game Time makes it easy. Plus, with the Game Time Picks feature, it makes finding the best deals effortless. It filters out all the fluff, and it highlights the top discounts available in the stadium. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download that Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. So, Stacey, over the weekend, the Yankees will take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Friday will be a 7:05 start. Carrasco will go up against Jose Berrios. It's really weird when you look at the Blue Jays pitching staff. They've got big names that don't put up big numbers anymore. They really tried with their pitching staff, and it just has not worked out. Carrasco's 1-1 with a 6.53. Jose Berrios is 1-1 with a 5.02. Saturday's 1:05 start is going to be Max Fried. I'm excited. I'll be there. I can't wait to see Max Fried pitch live, especially with the numbers he's put up. They're 4-0 with a 1.42. He's going up against the Blue Jays, haven't decided who their starter is going to be for Saturday yet. And Sunday, it's a 1:35. Clark Schmidt, who's 0-1 with a 7.45, will get Kevin Gausman, who's 2-2 with a 3.16 ERA. Stacey, I kind of wanted to do this earlier today just because I wanted to. It's very early to be discussing MVP candidates. I'm not necessarily naming these two guys as MVP yet, but I wanted to bring up these two guys just to really put in perspective what Aaron Judge has done so far, to really show how good he's been, because it's that incredible. Obviously, we know Judge is the front runner for the American League MVP at this point, and I'm not saying obviously as Yankee boy who's pro-Yankee, everything like that. There really is no one else in the American League that's put up comparable numbers to Aaron Judge at this point. It's not even remotely close. So I'm not going to try and prove that to you. There's a couple of guys in the National League that are putting up great numbers, but the best is Corbin Carroll. He's gotten off to a great start for the Diamondbacks. He's hitting .323 with a .398 on base percentage, 7 home runs, 19 RBIs. His OPS is 1.044. He's been really good so far. He's been great for the Diamondbacks, who have off to a nice start. Listen to his numbers compared to Judge, Stacey. Judge is hitting .415, so 90 points above Corbin Carroll. He's got a .513 on base, so over about 115 points above him on base. Judge has 7 home runs, the same as Carroll. Carroll's got 19 RBIs. Judge has 28. Judge has a 1.247 OPS. Corbin Carroll has a 1.044. Just to put this into perspective, Stacey, we're a week away from the first month of the season being over. And if you realize that we started baseball in late March this year, we're about a month in, and Judge still has these numbers. Now, we've seen players hitting the 400s to start a year off before. We've seen guys take it into the first couple weeks hitting 400. I don't remember a time ever seeing a guy go through the first month hitting in the 400s. I know Pete Rose had a year where he was hitting over 400 for a while. I'm sure Mattingly did it at some point. I'm sure Tony Gwynn probably did it at some point. I know there are years where guys have taken these insane averages up until mid-May and June, but this is ridiculous what Judge is doing. We've discussed it before, too. The Powerball is not, let's be real, 7 home runs in the month of April, if that's what he lands off with, which is probably going to be more. He's probably going to finish the month of April with 8 or 9 home runs, which puts him on pace for like 70. If he finishes the month of April off with 7 home runs, that's still incredible. But Stacey, finishing the month off with a 1.2 OPS with nearly 30 RBIs. It's unbelievable how good he's been. Do you remember Yankees starting off this well? I guess A-Rod maybe is the one that would come to mind for you. But other than that, Michael K made a great point. Appreciate what you're watching. This is an all-time Hall of Fame player that's playing right now. He's on his way to another MVP. You can make the case that every year that he's played full-time, he should be won the MVP, Stacey. That's how good he's been.
Yeah, the other two that I remember doing well through the first 25 games, Dave Winfield in 88.
Okay.
after 25 games, he was batting .424. He had a .728 slugging percentage. Paul O'Neill in 1994, .444 with a .792 slugging percentage. And Judge's slugging percentage right now is .734. But he's hitting the ball. You know, he hit the triple today, would have been a home run in somewhere else.
Any other ballpark, yeah.
You know, he hits singles when you need them. And it's funny because some people are almost complaining about the fact that he only has 7 home runs. And I'd like to remind people how not good Judge was last April.
Yeah, and remember the streakiness that he gets too. And it's funny because when you say streakiness, people think of it as, oh, well, he hits a ton of home runs or he hits a lot for 2 weeks and then he doesn't hit at all. That's the kind of streakiness Giancarlo Stanton gives you,
right?
Where he's great for 2 weeks and then he's invisible for another 2 weeks. That's not what Judge is. Just streaky with the power, because there'll be 2 week stretches for Judge where it's unbelievable how many home runs he's hitting. But then in the 2 weeks that he's not hitting home runs, he's still going 3 for 5 in those games,
right? With
a double and 2 singles, and he's walking a ton too. I mean, Stacey, there's not enough you can say about this guy about how good he actually has been. I don't remember a power hitter being this good, like otherwise, other than really A-Rod, at this level of just being able to control the strike zone. And I guess the walks with Barry Bonds, you can say he was a lot better, but guys were intentionally walking him, or they were intentionally not giving him pitches to hit. Judge's eye of the strike zone is on par with Juan Soto at this point, of how good he sees the strike zone, how good he's able to take walks. He's a different kind of player. And, you know, we've mentioned it before. It hides how good of a fielder he is too. People don't even talk about how good he is in the field. I mean, Judge should have multiple Gold Gloves by now, and he doesn't. I'm in awe by watching this guy. I'm glad we get a chance to. I hope that he's able to get a championship at some point, because he'll go down as one of the best athletes ever to not win a championship if they don't get him one. I mean, he legitimately will.
Yeah. Let's hope they do.
Yeah.
Let's hope they do. Thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.